As Earth descended into chaos, the Orion, humanity's final hope, carried its chosen survivors into the abyss. But the darkness they fled hadn't been left behind. It had found its way aboard. Earth was in its death throes, the atmosphere choking with ash and fire. The Orion, a state-of-the-art evacuation ship, carried the last 200 souls deemed worthy of survival. Among them was Mia Hart, a biologist plagued by the haunting memory of her husband, Liam, who had perished as she escaped the dying planet. For the first 3 days, the ship was eerily silent. Then, Dr. Andrews vanished. His cabin was locked from the inside, and there was no evidence of struggle. The crew dismissed it as stress-induced paranoia. But soon, others began hearing whispers, soft, familiar voices of the dead. On the 4th night, Mia froze in her cabin. "Mia!" The voice was unmistakable. It was Liam. "I'm here." Her heart raced and she turned to the source, but there was nothing there. Fear and confusion rippled through the ship. Shadows moved where none should, and the corridors became unnaturally cold. Halos, the ship's AI, detected no anomalies, offering no comfort as the whispers grew louder and passengers began to disappear. By the 5th day, panic consumed the survivors. Mia joined forces with Mark, a level-headed technician, and Sarah, a historian with an obsessive interest in ancient myths. They hacked into Halos's restricted files, uncovering a horrifying truth. The Orion wasn't the first evacuation ship. 12 others had launched before it, and none had reached their destination. Each vessel had fallen prey to a force described only as the Presence. "They knew," Sarah whispered, her voice trembling as she stared at the logs. "They sent us knowing this would happen." The entity was born of fear, feeding on terror and despair. It wasn't merely haunting the ship. It was inside their minds, exploiting their memories and emotions. Mia's worst fears materialized when she returned to her cabin to find Liam waiting for her. His face was pallid, his smile unnervingly wide. "Did you miss me?" he asked, his voice an eerie mimicry of the man she had loved. Throughout the ship, chaos erupted. The shadows became solid, grotesque forms pulling passengers into the void. Survivors screamed as loved ones and long-lost friends appeared before them, only to transform into nightmarish shapes. Mia, Mark, and Sarah retreated to the control room, desperate for a solution. In a frantic attempt to save what was left of the crew, Mia devised a plan: isolate the infected sections and eject them into space. They lured the shadow forms into the rear compartments using fear as bait. The plan worked, and the ship stabilized. For a brief moment, it seemed the survivors had triumphed, but the respite was short-lived. Halos's voice shattered the fragile calm. Contamination detected. Mia turned to the cockpit window and froze. Her reflection stared back at her, but it wasn't her. Its hollow eyes seemed to pierce her soul, and its grin stretched unnaturally wide. "You can't escape me," it whispered, the sound reverberating in her mind. "I am with you forever." As Sarah screamed, the lights flickered. Shadows seeped through the walls, their movement like smoke given form. The survivors backed away, but there was nowhere left to run. The Orion continued its journey through the void, the once promising vessel, now a prison of despair. Humanity's last survivors drifted through the stars, haunted, hunted, and forever trapped in the clutches of the darkness they had unleashed.